Dear students, I welcome you all to the 20th session of Histology, Animal Behavior and Applied Zoology paper prescribed by the Mangalore University for 4th semester BSc Zoology. In this session, we shall look into the courtship and nesting behavior of peacock, Baya weaver bird, river tern, and sarus crane. First of all, I will introduce you the topic courtship behavior. Courtship behavior in animals is the behavior that results in mating and eventual reproduction. Courtship behavior may be rather simple behavior involving small number of chemicals, visual or auditory stimuli, or it may be a highly complex series of acts, rituals by two or more individuals using several modes of communication. So as you can see here in these photographs, the peacock with its very translucent, beautiful feathers, it's trying to attract the females so that the reproduction is possible. On the other hand, you can see some cranes dancing as a result of pairing up. So all these behaviors that results in mating, eventually the reproduction is called courtship behavior, or simply in simple language it is called courting. Now, as a first example of courtship behavior, we shall study the courtship behavior in peacocks. So we all know that peacock is the national bird of India and are large colorful pheasants, typically blue and green, known for their iridescent tails or tail feathers. Very beautifully, composed tail feathers. The major and very important character with the help of which you can differentiate other pheasants, other fowls and other birds from the peacock is the presence of its distinctive tail feathers. The tail feathers of peacock are coverts spread out in a distinctive train that is more than 60% of the bird's total body length and boast colorful eye markings of blue, gold, red and other hues. The large train is used in mating rituals and the courtship displays. So these distinctive tail feathers can be arched into magnificent fan that reaches across the bird's back and touches the ground on either side. Females are believed to choose their mates according to the size, color and quality of these heterogeneous feather trains. The quality of this heterogeneous feather train also depends upon the intensity of the color produced by these feathers. And it is believed that in order to increase the intensity of these colors, lot of proteins are required, and if the proteins are required to increase the intensity of this color, then the peacock must hunt for more and more food, more and more insects, more and more grains and other things which are too proteinaceous, so that lot of protein goes into these feathers. That means if the animal is able to hunt more and more, he will be the fit father for the next generation. That's what the peahen is thinking about. Now let us see how the courtship displays are there. So in peacocks, as you can see here, they have a 90 to 130 centimeter long body and around 60 inches train of tail feathers that are colored a brilliant metallic green. This strain is mainly formed of the bird's upper tail covers, which are enormously elongated. You would have observed the tail feathers of peacock. If not, please see here. They are very long and very colorful with some iridescent blue-green patches. Each feather is tipped with an iridescent eye spot that is ringed with blue and browns. In courtship displays, the cock elevates his tail, which lies under the train, thus elevating the train and bringing it forward. At the climax of this display, the tail feathers are vibrated, giving the feathers of the train a shimmering appearance and making a rustling sound. So at the climax of this display, the peacocks will simply vibrate these fully open feathers, displaying everything, and produces a shimmering appearance, as well as it produces a rustling sound. You can see here a peacock trying to dance in front of the peahens here, which are foraging. And classically, this behavior is called peacock dance. So in this chapter, let us study about the courtship behavior of boyer-weaver bird. Boyer-weaver birds are social and gregarious passerine birds. They forage in flocks for seeds, both on plants and on the ground. Flocks fly in close formations, often performing complicated manners. They are known to glean paddy and other grain in harvested fields and occasionally damage ripening crops and are therefore sometimes considered as pests too. They roost in reed beds bordering water bodies. They depend on wild grasses such as guinea grasses, Panicum maximum, as well as crops like paddy for both their food and nesting material. They also feed on insects. Their seasonal movements are governed by the availability of food in the vicinity. The breeding season of boyer-weavers is during monsoons. So they start breeding during the monsoon period. They nest in colonies of up to 20 to 30 close to the source of food, nesting material, and water. The nests are often built hanging over water. Boyer-weavers are best known for their elaborately woven nests. You can see here they are able to construct this elaborately woven nests, which are long, pendulous, and almost looks like a vertical round bottom flask, right? And in Kannada, this bird is called Gijagana Hakki. These pendulous nests are retort shaped with a central nesting chamber and a long vertical tube that leads to a side entrance to the chamber. You can see here there is a long tube which produces the entrance to the chamber. The nests are woven with long stripes of paddy leaves, rough grasses, and long strips torn from the palm fronds. Each strip can be between 20 to 60 centimeters in length. A male bird is known to make up to 500 trips to complete a nest. The birds use their nest strong beaks to strip and collect the strands and to weave and knot them while building their nests. During breeding season, the males begin building nests. The nests are partially built when the males display to the passing females by flapping their wings and calling while hanging to their nest. So you can see here the boyer-weaver birds have constructed nests in groups, and all the males immediately after partial completion, they are trying to attract the female, they are trying to call the females. The calls of the biome is, which is normally a sparrow-like chit-chat, is followed by a long drawn of chee-chee in the breeding season. The female inspects and chews a nest before signaling their approval to the male. So they will look at the females will look at the nest after they are being attracted by the chirping calls of these males. They enter into the nest. They inspect the place of nest. They inspect the interior design of the nest before the approval. Once a male and female are paired, the male goes on to complete the nest, including the entrance tunnel. Males are solely in charge of building the nest, though their female partners may join in giving some finishing touches. So the entire design and construction of the nest is done by males, but ultimately some fine tuning, finishing touches may be offered by the females. Studies have shown that nest location is more important than the nest structure for the female decision making. The males are polygynous, mating with 2 to 3 females, one after another. Males build many partial nests and start attracting females. A male finishes the nest to its completion only after finding a mate. After mating, the female lays about 2 to 4 white eggs and incubate them. The females are solely responsible for incubating and bringing up the brood. After mating with female, the male goes on to woo more females with its other nests. So typically a male will construct many nests and then one after the other, they start calling the female. So once the female comes and if she agrees, then the mating takes place, and simply the male leaves that nest and goes for the construction of other nests and try to attract more and more females. So the next example that we are supposed to study is the courtship behavior in river terns. The river terns are the members of tern family, and they are commonly observed in the river basins of Karnataka. The breeding seasons of this river tern species is from February to May in most of their breeding grounds. The breeding colonies and are monogamous and are territorial. The nesting sites of the river terns are located in less accessible areas such as sandbanks and sand islands in streams and water bodies. The nest is a shallow scrape on dry open ground or in cover of the grass. The nesting sites are prone to flooding too. The clutch contains 2 to 3 pale buff-colored eggs with dark blotches. Both the parents incubate the eggs and raise the young. So if you can see here, these river terns are some slender birds about the size of pigeon, with grey upper parts and black cap on their head, yellow beak, long pointed wings, and a deeply forked tail and short yellow stubby legs. So both sexes in river tern look alike. During the breeding season, February to May, they may have a deep glossy black head and nape. In the beginning of the courting season, the males bring fish to the female as a part of the courtship. You can see here, the female is sitting over, haunching over something, and the male is bringing a fish. Females accept the fish and flutter the wings to their show acceptance. and the male lowers its wings and lifts his head in pride. So not all offers of fish by the male is accepted by the female of his choice. The female may turn her back as the male approaches with his gift, but suddenly turn around to accept a gift from another male flying in. At the same time, a male flying in with a fish in his beak may not offer it to an eager female, but to another of his choice. The offer of fish continues for some time before the pair actually bonds. After all, the female has to be convinced of the male's ability to provide for her and her brood during the period of egg incubation and after. The mating lasts for about few seconds. Even those few seconds are not without trouble as other males try to disrupt, still trying to lure the female with fish in their beak. The pair may fly off together, whereby the male catches the fish. Both of them then fly back to the land where the male offers it to the female. Immediately after handing over the fish to the female, the male cocks his head high and make a loud cry as if in triumph. During this period of courtship feeding, there are always other birds ready to zoom in for a free meal. Privacy is rampant during this period, and a courting male has to be extra vigilant lest his gift ends in the beak of another male. So there are always the other males who are trying to, simply catch the fish and other things caught by one male. The incubating the eggs typically lasts for about 3 weeks, and the responsibility is shared by both parents. With over tens and thousands of terns in the small island, it is unimaginable on how the tern return back to their nest and how they come back to the same place with food for either the partner or the cute little fur balls which emerge out of the eggs. One other observation was seeing the terns frequently washing their fish in water, and it's unclear if they were trying to just clean their meal or not. But still, they exhibit some behavior where they try to dip their fish in water and trying to wash it. So next, let us study about the courtship behavior in Sarus cranes. The Sarus crane is the tallest flying bird in the world, standing around 152 to 156 centimeters tall with a wingspan of about 240 centimeters. You can see here it's a very tall bird, okay, that can fly. It has a predominantly grey plumage with a naked red head and upper neck and pale red legs. It weighs around 6.8 to 7.8 kilograms and is a social creature found mostly in pairs or small groups of 3 or 4. They are known to mate for life with a single partner, and its breeding season coincides with heavy rainfall in the monsoon. Nests are constructed on water, in natural wetlands, or in flooded paddy fields. Usually a clutch has only 1 or 2 eggs, which are incubated by both parents for a period of around 26 to 35 days. The juveniles follow their parents from the day of their birth. So this is a little morphological explanation and the life history of the Saurus cranes. Now let us see how the courtship displays are exhibited by these birds. These Saurus cranes have loud trumpeting calls. They produce loud trumpeting calls, as you can see in this photograph, which, as in other cranes, are produced by the elongated trachea that forms coils within the sternal region. So you can see here these trumpeting calls can be produced with the help of this elongated and coiled trachea, just like a trumpet or a saxophone. Pairs may indulge in spectacular displays of calling in unison and posturing. These include dancing movements that are performed both during and outside the breeding season and involve a short series of jumping and bowing movements made as one of the pair circles around the other. Mated pairs perform spectacular displays accompanied by unison calls. So you can see here they are just fluttering their wings, they are opening their wings, they are looking at the sky and producing a unison call with the help of the highly coiled trachea that they possess. Displays show the birds in standing posture with head thrown back and bill upwards. Male raises the wings over its back during the unison call, while female keeps them closed. So you can see here this is the female, and as the male is opening its wings, and while the females are not. They engage dancing displays including various different behaviors such as bowing, jumping, running and in circles, tossing some plant items and wing flapping. These dances often occur during courtship, but they also take part in response to aggregation for relieving tensions, and they strengthen pair bonds. Saurus cranes, as other crane species, are usually seen in family groups of up to 3 or 5 feeding together. Dancing may also be a displacement activity when the nest or young is threatened. So if the nest is nearby, then they may just try to threaten or shoo off the predators and other animals and birds approaching their nest. The cranes breed mainly during the monsoon in India from July to October, although the second brood may occur, and breeding season has been recorded in all months as well. The major breeding months are July to October, but second breeding month is also possible throughout the year. So they build large nest platforms made of reeds and vegetation in wet, marshy or paddy fields. You can see here there's a small island in the paddy fields completely surrounded by water, and there they construct their nests by some platform nests with the help of reeds and vegetation. They are extremely large platforms. The nest is constructed in shallow water by piling up rushes, straw, grasses with their roots and mud so that the platform rises above the level of water to form a little island. The nest is unconcealed and conspicuous, being visible from afar and defended fiercely by the pair. So this nest being highly visible, highly conspicuous, almost all the time the pair will be seen guarding their nest, guarding their young ones and the eggs present in the nest. So this is all about the courtship behavior in peacock, boya weaver, Saurus crane and river tern. and these 4 examples are prescribed in your syllabus. For any further information about the migration of birds, sorry, the courtship behavior in birds and their courting displays, you can refer these textbooks that are uh, available in most of the libraries of our colleges. Thank you.